Glenn Villeneuve is a name that resonates deeply with fans of Life Below Zero. Known for his fearless independence and profound connection to the Alaskan wilderness, Glenn quickly became one of the show's most compelling figures. His calm demeanor, survival expertise, and philosophical approach to living off the grid captivated viewers worldwide. But what happened to Glenn after he stepped away from the series? Today, we uncover the real story behind Glenn Villeneuve's departure from Life Below Zero and explore where his journey has taken him since. Glenn Villeneuve's story begins in Burlington, Vermont, where he was born on March 18, 1969. Growing up far removed from city life, Glenn developed a deep bond with nature at an early age. His family lived in the woods, turning the natural world into both his playground and his classroom. Unlike most children, Glenn didn't attend traditional schools. Instead, he was homeschooled by his parents, who taught him not only reading and writing, but also essential survival skills. Living immersed in nature, Glenn gained an intimate understanding of wildlife, weather patterns, and plant life, knowledge that would later define his life in the wilderness. His childhood was filled with adventure. By the age of 9, he was already climbing mountains, tackling the peaks of Mount Mansfield with a level of confidence and determination far beyond his years. While most children were still learning the basics, Glenn was mastering mountaineering and wilderness navigation. One of the most remarkable chapters of his early life came when he was just 12 years old. Alongside his uncle, Glenn set out on an ambitious journey from Massachusetts to the Canadian border. Although they didn't complete the trip, the experience only strengthened his adventurous spirit. A year later, Glenn convinced his mother to let him attempt the journey again, this time alone. His solo expedition showcased a rare level of independence and resolve for someone so young. Though Glenn eventually embraced certain modern conveniences, like television and the internet, he never lost his connection to the wild. His upbringing, combined with hands-on experience in hunting, fishing, and crafting, prepared him for a life few could imagine. These formative years shaped not only his survival skills, but also his philosophy of living in harmony with nature. That foundation ultimately led Glenn to Alaska. Fascinated by its raw wilderness and isolation, he made the life-altering decision to leave conventional society behind and become a true resident of the Alaskan backcountry. His unconventional lifestyle eventually caught the attention of producers from Life Below Zero, and in 2013, Glenn made his first appearance on the show. From the moment he joined the cast, Glenn brought something distinct. While other participants focused on the daily struggle against harsh conditions, Glenn approached survival as a continuous flow of life rather than a series of battles to be won. This perspective resonated strongly with the viewers and earned him a devoted following. His segments felt grounded, authentic, and deeply respectful of the land. Throughout his time on the show, Glenn was involved in numerous unforgettable moments that highlighted both his skill and his mindset. One standout episode followed his solo caribou hunt, where he navigated treacherous ice, tracked the animal with precision, and demonstrated not just technical expertise, but a deep respect for the ecosystem. It wasn't simply about the hunt, it was about balance and understanding. Another defining moment came when Glenn encountered a pack of wolves near his cabin. Rather than reacting with panic, he remained calm and composed, assessing the situation carefully and responding in a way that ensured his safety. The incident revealed not only his courage, but his ability to make life-or-death decisions under pressure, something few could manage in such circumstances. What truly set Glenn apart was his philosophy. For him, Survival wasn't about suffering or constant struggle. It was about coexistence, living in harmony with nature, respecting its rhythms, and acknowledging the spiritual connection between humans and the land. He frequently demonstrated principles of sustainable living, from foraging for food and building environmentally conscious shelters to understanding animal behavior. Glenn's approach offered viewers a rare glimpse into a lifestyle built on sustainability and self-reliance. Episode by episode, audiences watched him evolve, appreciating the quiet authenticity and methodical problem-solving he brought to the screen. More than just a survivalist, Glenn Villeneuve emerged as a teacher, someone who showed that life in the wilderness isn't about conquering nature, but learning to live alongside it. Many fans admired Glenn for his ability as a sociable survivalist who truly thrived on life below zero. He captivated audiences by transforming the harsh wilderness into something almost romantic, a world free of fear, conveying the idea that everyone deserves the chance to experience life in nature. Glenn Villeneuve was quickly thrust into the spotlight, not only because of his major contributions to the show, but also because of his unique philosophy on existence, which stood in sharp contrast to his fellow cast members. From his very first appearance in Season 3 to his final episode in Season 10, Glenn's segments blended practical survival skills with deeply philosophical reflections on life in the wild. Unlike anything viewers had seen from other cast members, his approach focused on understanding nature rather than merely enduring it. His popularity stemmed from his ability to live off the land, while teaching viewers the hidden laws of the wilderness, how to read nature, respect it, and survive within it. While many cast members emphasized the grim realities and daily hardships of life in Alaska, Glenn viewed survival as an ongoing adventure. His mindset was not rooted in fear, but in appreciation, embracing both the challenges and the simple pleasures the wilderness offered. Throughout the series, several moments stood out that further cemented his reputation as one of the show's most compelling figures. One such moment was the episode in which Glenn hunted a caribou entirely on his own. As he tracked the animal across unforgiving terrain, viewers witnessed his endurance, skill, and deep respect for the hunt. This episode was more than just a pursuit for food. It offered insight into Glenn's profound connection to the land and wildlife. It demonstrated how he could sustain himself while showing immense respect for nature and its balance. Another tense scene unfolded when Glenn nearly encountered a pack of wolves while cutting wood near his cabin. Instead of panicking, he remained calm, gripping his rifle and standing his ground with remarkable composure. Through courage and experience, he successfully drove the wolves away. The moment electrified viewers and solidified his image as a true wilderness man. Despite his popularity, Glenn's time on Life Below Zero was not without conflict and controversy. Much of it centered on creative differences with the show's producers. While Glenn contributed heavily to the program, his independent nature and desire to pursue his own vision often clashed with the production team. From early on, it was clear that Glenn had a different idea of what the show should represent. His guiding philosophy was to showcase the authentic beauty of living in the wild, highlighting adventure, harmony with nature, and the possibility of a fulfilling life beyond modern society. This directly conflicted with the producer's preference for focusing on daily struggles, danger, and heightened drama to engage viewers. While Glenn wanted to tell stories of balance and exploration, the production leaned toward a raw, survival-against-all-odds narrative. This fundamental disagreement in creative direction became one of the biggest sources of tension. Glenn frequently clashed with the production team over storytelling choices and logistics. His rebellious, self-driven personality often conflicted with the structure and discipline required for television production. One of the most memorable incidents occurred during a winter shoot, when Glenn, true to his adventurous and impulsive nature, decided to head alone into the wilderness without consulting anyone. His sudden departure disrupted the production schedule and left the crew scrambling to ensure his safety. While these actions reinforced Glenn's authenticity and passion for exploration, they also made it difficult for the team to capture the footage they needed. At times, Glenn also experienced friction with fellow cast members. Alaska's unforgiving environment often created tense situations where survival depended on cooperation. Differences in hunting territories, survival strategies, and personal philosophies occasionally led to disagreements. Glenn's strong independence and unconventional approach to tasks, while admirable, sometimes complicated filming and collaboration. Adding to the challenge was Glenn's reputation for recklessness. He frequently bent rules, performed risky stunts, and ignored safety protocols, making him nearly impossible to manage on set. His disregard for safety measures only reinforced his image as a daredevil, an embodiment of freedom and risk that both fascinated audiences and frustrated producers. There were several incidents in which Glenn would disappear into the forest for days at a time, with no one knowing where he was. Another major concern was his tendency to place himself in extremely dangerous situations. Glenn's philosophy of survival involved taking risks that others would deliberately avoid. While this approach made for gripping television, it also raised serious concerns about his safety. One particularly alarming incident involved Glenn tracking a wounded bear entirely on his own, an extremely risky decision that could have ended in tragedy. Already strained by harsh filming conditions, the production team found it increasingly difficult to manage Glenn's unpredictable behavior. Over time, the growing creative differences, repeated conflicts with producers and fellow cast members, and Glenn's rebellious habit of breaking rules pushed the working relationship to a breaking point. By 2019, these accumulated tensions led to Glenn's departure from Life Below Zero. The decision was not made lightly. However, it became clear that the challenges of working with Glenn now outweighed the benefits. His exit left a noticeable void in the series. He had been a fan favorite, but it also allowed the production team to prioritize safety and maintain the cohesion necessary for the show's continued success. Glenn's time on Life Below Zero remains a testament to his adventurous spirit and resilience. It also highlights the inevitable conflict that arises when creative vision clashes with safety concerns in one of the harshest environments on Earth. When Glenn officially left the show in 2019, fans were deeply saddened. Many saw him as the embodiment of freedom, a free-spirited individual who truly embraced life in the Alaskan wilderness. The audience reaction was immediate and emotional. Glenn quickly realized just how many fans admired his honest portrayal of a bold, unconventional lifestyle and his fearless spirit. For many viewers, his departure was difficult to understand, and disappointment spread across the fan base. Social media quickly filled with messages of support, praise, and calls for his return. Fans expressed empathy for Glenn's journey and voiced their frustration over his absence from the screen. The producers, however, received mixed reactions. While they acknowledged Glenn's undeniable impact on Life Below Zero, they also emphasized the importance of ensuring crew safety and maintaining the show's structure. In official statements, the production team thanked Glenn for his contributions, noting that letting him go was a difficult but necessary decision. Societe Glenn, never one to remain silent, later addressed the situation publicly. Through social media posts and public forums, he defended himself and shared his side of the story. In a detailed Facebook post, Glenn stated that the producers had no intention of bringing him back for future seasons, effectively ending his run on the show. He cited a lack of communication and explanation from the production team and claimed he was unfairly removed after dedicating 6 years and appearing in 85 episodes. In subsequent podcasts and interviews, Glenn expanded on the circumstances surrounding his departure. He described ongoing clashes between his desire to portray authenticity and the producer's focus on drama. He also addressed the safety concerns, acknowledging his risk-taking nature, but insisting that such risks were an essential part of true survival. Despite the controversy, leaving the show ultimately opened new doors for Glenn. He remained active on social media, maintaining a strong connection with his audience while sharing more personal and unfiltered content from his wilderness journey. Glenn's departure marked the end of an era for life below zero, but it also signaled the beginning of a new chapter in his life, one that proved his adventurous spirit extended far beyond reality television. Since leaving the show, Glenn Villeneuve has continued to lead a fulfilling and dynamic life. He diversified his pursuits, becoming involved in real estate and the stock market. His ability to make savvy investments allowed him to remain financially independent while continuing to follow his passions. Though no longer on television, Glenn's love for the wilderness remains unchanged. He frequently ventures deep into Alaska's backcountry, honing his survival skills and exploring new territories. He shares these ongoing adventures through social media updates and podcast appearances, keeping his audience closely connected to the rugged landscapes he cherishes. Life after life. Below Zero stands as proof of Glenn Villeneuve's enduring resilience and adaptability. Whether managing investments, spending time with loved ones, or navigating the Alaskan wilds, Glenn continues to live by principles of independence, respect for nature, and self-reliance, an inspiration to those who believe in the beauty and simplicity of living in harmony with the natural world.